we've got approval for headcount or for new tech tools next year in the budget. We scoped out the description. We're starting to like chat with vendors. We're doing the shopping stuff. What interesting questions do you like to ask during the evaluation process? Maybe for employees, but also for Martech tools. Anything that comes to mind?
Mhm. That's a really good question. I think, it obviously differs heavily for employees versus
Yeah.
or for tech. I
Yeah, maybe where
can
the analogy starts to break a bit.
Yeah, I think, at the very core basic level, in any kind of interview or evaluation of candidates or MarTech, you obviously need to ensure that it has the fundamental features that you're looking, and it's able to address the gaps that you're looking to solve for. I think the other piece that's always interesting is hearing other companies' experiences with that product. And so these aren't necessarily, curated references or curated customer stories or testimonials, but these are very much like reaching out to people who I know have used this product and having a very like honest and frank conversation. And I think we'll probably get into this a little bit later more, but I really like to, do my own kind of due diligence on the side, even outside of the interview process to understand how this MarTech has landed with other companies who are in a similar situation or who are facing similar problems or who are looking to grow in similar ways.
Yeah, one thing that I find similar with like employees and Martech in this context is, let's say we have an open rec and we don't know exactly if it's better to hire a data person or it's better to hire a technical marketer or it's better to outsource some of those things because we have outsourced budget and the full-time person we hire is like your traditional marketing generalist. Like we don't really know what is the right rec to kind of post up. And we sometimes like don't really know all the time like who are the right people out there for a specific skill. So maybe we'll like post all three postings and then we'll kind of compare people. I see that similarly with Martech too. Like sometimes we just assume, all right, we want to do real time personalization. We just got to get a CDP. Like everyone talks about a CDP for that use case. That's just a thing. Like we'll post an RFP for a CDP and we'll start like shopping for CDPs. But then there's the other angle of like, what else is there out there that could accomplish the same use case that could be way cheaper, that could give us a lot more flexibility to do something later down the line and plug in different tools. And it's only like when you think strategically about like what tool could do this specific use case. And so when you're going to shop there, maybe a composable CDP is a better
Yeah.
approach for you, being more flexible. And so that angle there is a bit trickier, but I still see the analogy kind of
Yeah.
holding true for that.
Like far too many times I've been involved in recruitment cycles where you're hiring for one particular role, but as the, recruitment cycle progresses and you start to actually talk to candidates, you're like, oh, you know what? It'd be great to increase the scope of this role
Yeah,
or
yeah,
evolve the scope based on this person's skills and,
yes.
actually like tackle this problem that we have as well and lump it all together. And so we face kind of like similar challenges with Martech. I think one thing you have to kind of think about beyond just like the problem you're solving for and the solutions that are out there and the specific features, you almost kind of need to zoom out a little bit as well and really question and challenge yourself. Like, is this something that complements the direction that we want to head into as a company? And, on the side, we talked about a little bit about like maturity and versus like complexity of MarTech. I think that's an area that, I'm personally like very wary of the very shiny platforms that
Hmm.
promise a lot of like deep functionality. But if no one on your team has the capacity or resources to handle that, then you kind of have to put some brakes on that. And maybe, to your point, a more simple, flexible solution is actually what's going to be more impactful for you at this time and at this stage of your company. So you do have to kind of make those trade-offs, and those are very nuanced by each company and each product. And so you have to kind of have that reality check with yourself.
Yeah, it's such a good point. I've often been like the one person marketing ops team at smaller companies. And we talk about like, oh, what do you think about this tool? We could use it for this and for that. And we already have a stack of like 16 tools that I'm the admin on for all 16 of them. And yeah, we're just going to buy this new tool. Phil, what do you think about it? It's like, who's going to own this tool? Like, at what point do we say we need more than one person on marketing ops to administer and set up and train people on this tool? Like there's so many things to consider from a people standpoint when you
Yes.
do buy that Martech. But I totally relate with your point about like, yeah, sometimes we're deep into the discussion process with a candidate and we discover like, all right, like maybe let's tweak the role for this person because they're a former data engineer. Maybe we're only hiring for like a lifecycle person, but this person is hungry for lifecycle activation, but they're also a data engineer. Let's like tweak that role a little bit. I've seen that so often to kind of justify why a
Yeah.
candidate